Welcome to Soul Fire Ascension with Raven and Lisa Love Light. Raven is a clinical hypnotherapist, angelic alchemy practitioner, Reiki master, and spiritual coach, guiding souls through past life regression, Akashic readings, and deep transformational healing. Lisa Love Light walks the path of awakening and remembrance, weaving esoteric wisdom with the living light of Source through Reiki past life healing hypnosis, Akashic readings, and intuitive coaching. She helps others activate their divine blueprint and highest timeline. Together, Raven and Lisa invite you into a sacred space of healing, remembrance, and empowerment. Greetings. Welcome to another edition of Soul Fire Ascension. And we have a very special guest today. Let me play her introduction video. What if sound could reshape the way we heal? This week on Soul Fire Ascension, we welcome Louisa, the visionary inventor of the Sonosphere and founder of Vibroacoustic. Blending physics, engineering, art, and music, Louisa has spent over 20 years perfecting a revolutionary vibroacoustic system that merges sound, resonance, and immersive design to support healing for chronic pain, PTSD, anxiety, autism, and more. Her story is one of setbacks, breakthroughs, and the courage to pioneer as a woman in STEM creating technology that transforms both science and soul. Join us live September 19th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Soul Fire Ascension. And if you miss the live, catch the replay on YouTube and on Rumble, or listen anytime on Spotify. Like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring conversations. This is one you won't want to miss. Beautiful, beautiful. Welcome, Louisa. We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm so excited because I love colors. I love rainbows. And as soon as I seen your invention, I was just like, oh, I want one. I want to go there. I want to go be peaceful.
Right. I saw that and I watched the YouTube videos and it's like, I just want to go lay in it for a while, just a little while.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
All right, Lisa, I know you have tons of questions.
I do. So if possible, my dear, may you tell, because for 20 years you've been creating and perfecting and everything. So may you tell us a little bit about your journey leading up into this beautiful evolution you're creating here.
Yeah. Well, the Sonosphere project started out as my senior project for my bachelor degree at Fairhaven in Western Washington University. And through, many different prototypes, I evolved the design over time. And there were some really significant leaps that I had to do in visualizing how it would function. And there were also some significant leaps in just getting funded and or having help along the way. And those things seem to coincide in these really interesting synchronistic ribbons. Kind of, they would cross, and where they would cross of like then it would seem like a miracle would happen. And something would propel the project forward more and again and again and again until there was the point where I had been doing it for so long that it just became a part of me and a part of my life. And continuously listening to the feedback that was given to me from our clients and just the people that experienced the Sonosphere, all the different versions leading up to the one we have now. They were all taken into consideration. All of the people's remarks and feedback always took very seriously, and especially feedback where I would get multiple people telling me something that they wish it had or they wish it would change, stuff like that. And so then on the next version, I would take into consideration those that were heaviest voted for. And one of those things, like going from Sonosphere 2 to Sonosphere 3, there was a pretty large leap there of function. And that was basically, I had just started learning about cymatics on, I had known about cymatics for a while, but I just learned about the transducers and just how big they could become. I had always just done cymatics projects with a little speaker on a small plate. And for those who don't know what cymatics is, it's just the science of seeing different geometrical patterns emerge from salt that is scattered on a plate and usually it's like a metal plate that's very, very thin, and it's connected to the middle of the speaker. And as the speaker plays different frequencies, it shakes the stick, which is connected to the plate, and then the plate will order the salt into these patterns. And that's the study of cymatics, or seeing sound. And in a cymatics experiment, you'll get different beautiful patterns where there's a resonance, basically. And that resonance is going to be at distinct frequencies for that particular plate or system of resonance that you have set up there with the speaker and the stick and the plate. That's all one system of resonance. And the plate, if you use a slightly thicker plate or a slightly thinner plate, you would not have the same frequencies produce the same beautiful results. It would be different. And so that's because the thickness of the plate is part of the variable in that equation. And just like with the Sonosphere, the frequencies that we play change and are different for each person on the Sonosphere, because the weight of the person getting on the Sonosphere changes the overall mass and how much energy it takes to create those vibrations in the platform. So yeah, the evolution took 20 years to get to the one we have now. And now again, I am in construction, working on another one now that is a lot different, so different that we're giving it a new name. And this one is going to be called the Vibropod, and it's going to be for the medical and clinical and wellness industry. And what they have been asking for is something with headphones. They loved the high powered full body, concept of the Sonosphere, but they wanted something that was headphones only, so that they can have other things going on in the clinic or in the different rooms. Like if they have a massage therapist or other clinicians, they want to have a quieter thing. And so we're going to do this. We're doing this one with headphones. And then it also has more of the core technology that we've uncovered with the Sonosphere, which is the Vibroacoustic Therapy portion of the Sonosphere experience, which is we have these 10 haptic transducers that that I put under the platform. And on the Sonosphere, there's about 4,500 watts of power at peak max on the platform. And that's distributed. We have those 10 transducers divided into 4 groups, and they're very specially arranged. And that those 4 groups, we can basically play up to 4 frequencies through the Sonosphere at the same time. And the frequency that we've when we first built this thing, me and my husband Rowan, we just like experimented with all these different combinations of these 4 frequencies. What should they be? How close together should they be? And we started noticing that where it felt the best, like where it felt the best to us to be in there, to have it going, was these really actually close separations between the frequencies there. And we, through a lot of experimentation, we came to find out that this back and forth between these 4 frequencies creates basically a combination of all 4 notes, and you end up with this kind of beat frequency that emerges from that combination that is like a new wave form kind of, but it's also going at the same time that these other 4 waves are like coming in to create that. So it's like this really complex audio flux field that's emerging, and this is all going into your body, like, because you're at close range, like you're laying on this platform. And actually, that was one of the requests from going from Sonosphere 2 to Sonosphere 3 was people on Sonosphere 1 and 2, people would actually sitting up on Sonosphere, and there was like a pole in the middle that was like structural. And that was, you know.
Do you mind not to interrupt you? Do you mind if I put a picture up?
Yeah, sure. So that pole was like the number one thing people were like, you need to take that out. We want to be able to lay down. So the Sonosphere 3, I came up with a way to remove the pole and support it just on the edges, support the platform just on the edges. And I'll say something else about our platform. So the one that you're with the person laying on it, that circle is really at the heart of what makes this vibroacoustic therapy device different and special that other devices don't have. And if you look out there right now, there's like maybe 4 or 5 different vibrotherapy companies, and you might have heard of some of them. But they basically are making their sound beds in sort of like this massage table configuration. So there'll be like a table with like some transducers, and they, for a massage table, right, you could not put as much power as I have on the Sonosphere. You could not put that on a massage table. Like, you would basically just rattle that thing right apart. It would be destructive. There'd be no way. So to use higher power in a vibroacoustic therapy device that's for people, you have to make a greater body. You have to make a body with more mass that can actually help to harness those vibrations without falling apart. And furthermore, I wanted to actually amplify the harmonics that is coming through the machine. And to do that, we build it kind of like a musical instrument is designed, with the metal very thin, with their hollow cavities within inside these curved arcs, I call them. And the Sonosphere has a resonance frequency when no one's on there at around 37 hertz. And when someone gets onto there, the resonance frequency goes up to about 40. And there is a slight range there with how heavy people are, or whether we have 1 person or 2 people up there changes it just a little bit. But the main frequency being 40, that just sounds so beautiful in the Sonosphere, because that's what it's tuned to. That's what that's its natural fundamental frequency of its resonating system. And we looked up, 40 hertz, and we realized, and this is like, I cannot plan this. I could not have tried, but we look up 40 hertz, and it's like the basal frequency that they've used on almost all vibroacoustic therapy research projects from the very beginning. They've been using and testing on 40 hertz. And Rowan and I can't really figure out why 40 hertz, and they're very vague about why they chose it. It mostly just, they're all choosing it. So I feel like maybe that's what the first person tried, and then everybody tried, because like in science, you try to use the same as much as the same starting conditions as other scientists so that you can like validate and build off of what they did and consider that part of your experiment is like the continuation of their experiment like that. So that is not uncommon, but like it is not known really why that is such a healing frequency. And when I say healing, I mean truly like in all the clinical studies that they've done, the conclusion of the study is always like results amazing. This deserves more money, more funding. This deserves deeper inquiry. It gave us enough of a yes to be like, we need to do this more. And that's almost every study is like that when it comes to vibroacoustic therapy.
Wow.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
When you have somebody in there, do you change the frequency according to what the illness is, or is it all the same frequency?
Yeah. So no, we don't change it for different illnesses, but I will say there's two components on the Sonosphere, which one can be very psychologically healing and therapeutic, and the other is very physically healing and therapeutic. And it won't heal everything. That's not really what it is. I think a lot of people are wondering if it is some kind of radionics or some kind of ultrasound frequency, but it's not. It's actually just audio frequency. And that is the surprising part, because we are always so used to having audio delivered to our ears in very specific arrangements. Like someone talking to us is going to go just right into our two ears. We can locate things in distance by where they are. We're used to that. And we can also go to a concert or sit in a surround sound, and we're very used to like, okay, left and right. I'm getting it into here, in my headphones. I got left and right. And then sometimes every now and then we can go see an IMAX and we might get some surround sound, and we might get some haptics in our chairs rumbling a little bit. But like, that's it. People only get that like going to an IMAX theater. Like that's, or if you have maybe like a transducer mounted in your car's stereo system, maybe you get the bass, maybe you get the rumble or whatever. But I find that almost no one has used that bass level of like basically under 100 hertz to actually instill a vibration inside someone's body. But with those are just audio frequencies though. And so they are tactile frequencies. So this is like, it's moving a piston inside the coil, and it's like actually moving up and down. It's a mover. Ours on the Sonosphere, they're actually called butt kickers. That's the name of them. And they're from the Githammer company, which I absolutely love. And they are such reliable, good transducers. They do such a good job. And they can each do up to 450 watts.
Wow. And
we have 10 of them on here. And so that's at max 4,500 watts available. And we run them at about, 88% power or something, just so as to not overdo them. We want them to last for years. Mm-hmm. And on the new Vibropod, there's going to be 13 of them, and instead of 10, so there'll be a little extra and a little more power because of that. And there's also not going to be any of the art cutouts, and there will be no moving sphere. So that kind of takes out the psychological healing part, because what we ended up realizing is the Sonosphere, the part that spins, the sphere, it is like very hypnotizing. It's like it's really kind of part of what gets you in the mood to just surrender to the vibrations. Mm-hmm. And the art environment, the immersive art, and being part of that is really exciting, and it like enlivens the imagination for people. They feel like they're inside of a UFO, and they're in space. They're in a space vehicle, and that feeling is actually kind of real. There's a lot of illusions in there. As these waves like ripple through your body, you can feel like you're maybe like tilting or moving different directions, or like maybe you just fell 2 feet, but no, you didn't. because it's all an illusion of sound. And I don't think anybody has experienced sound like this before unless they have tried the Sonosphere, because we're passing so many different wavelengths through there. And to answer your question more exactly, so we always make sure that at least one of the banks has 10 or has 40 hertz on it, because that's the one that is the most studied, most clinically studied. And so we also do 40 hertz and then all of the harmonic octave intervals of 40 hertz. So we'd have like 40, 80, 120, like that.
Okay.
And then we'll stack them in a chord. And that is a chord that is haptic, which is really, I don't know anyone who's done this. I mean, I'm totally open and I would love to meet anyone who has, but as far as I know, I mean, this is a tactile vibration as a chord. Like you would play on the piano 4 notes at the same time, or a guitar, but this is like haptic through your body. And when we do the sound bath, which is like another layer of the Sonosphere, which is this open air sound system that is layered inside. So it's like you have the vibrations under the platform, and then you've got the sound bath that is around you in a certain sphere. And it is inspired by ambisonic recording, where you have sound above you and below you. And so it's like an ambisonic surround sound, a sphere of sound. And we create a journey through sound with lots of different types of sound music. We've created a lot of the music that we play ourselves, and a lot of it's meditational, ambient, but we try to also use electronic music production techniques to add like other textures and sound layers that you maybe have never even heard before, that are really cool. And we don't do anything like abrasive. There is no like drums or like it's if there is any percussive elements, it's very gentle or very light. And everyone so far has really dug it, really thought it was incredible. And it all has also full sound, like all frequencies represented. So like from the very bottom bass, like 100 hertz and lower, to 20,000 kilohertz into the where humans can no longer hear. We try to represent the whole spectrum at some point in the journey, and not individually, but just like in the mix. And so for the songs that we choose, we try to choose songs that are either in the key of E, because that is the 40 hertz is E, or we try to choose ones where E sounds good in that key. So like A, for example, like there's other keys where the note E will be welcome and harmonic, basically, right? And so when you add all these things up, you add up the lights changing with the track, you add up the sphere being hypnotic in this very primal shape that is like the sphere. It's pretty primal to everyone. It's a shape everyone acknowledges, everyone has reverence for in some way, even if it's subconscious. The sphere is the most primordial shape that humans can conceive of, I think. And then you have the sound bath, which is all around. It is, all around you, literally like a bath. And then you have the haptics as well. So you add all this together, and it ends up just being a very amazing chance to go deep into a transcendental meditation, which for some people take years to try to learn how to do that, to really go into the depth, right? And this thing, if you just surrender on here for like 10 or 20 minutes, once you get to the surrender point, it is something else, because your mind just starts to slip into this like liminal space that is like halfway between sleep and awake. And for those of us that dream and have dreams, like, that like the most intense dreams like often come like right after you've fallen asleep and like right before you're about to wake up. Like that's when we have the parts where we remember the most, like what we were doing in the dream. And that's what the Sonosphere activates, is like that liminal space. And some really amazing things have happened to people in there. Some really amazing visions have come to people. I don't talk about this part a lot because I don't want to say like, I guarantee you will have some crazy visions, but like so many people who were not expecting that, who don't even have like a spiritual sense of anything. Like there have been people who are 100% secular or, you know, atheists who tried this, and then they had some like, you know, vision of their parents that just passed away, or they talked to them, or like they had a communication with something and then they don't understand. They're like at the end, they're just like, this defies explanation. Like you're giving people like an experience that literally they cannot explain. And that and not just those people either. Like when people come off the Sonosphere, and when I first, you know, started doing the sessions, I started, well, what did you think, you know, when they get down, or how was your session, you know? And I learned very quickly that people cannot describe it when they get down. In fact, they can hardly talk. Like they're in an altered state, and they need time to like chill out and like let themselves be regrounded. And like the vibrations are just like when they stop, you know, and we don't just like turn them off either. We slowly like bring you down the same way we bring you up with the vibrations. We like slowly add them in, slowly add in the songs, slowly escalate like the feelings in the song. Because we're trying to take you on a journey that has all this feeling, because we want you to express, to crack open, to express some of your grief, of your pent up frustration, of whatever. That is a common effect, is just people having a somatic release of emotion.
Wow.
And you know, and so with some of those banks I was talking about, like if we play two of those to be like 2 hertz apart or 1 hertz apart, that is a heterodyne. We call that a heterodyne. Is what it's doing, is it's creating this like 2 hertz difference beat frequency, right? It's kind of like binaural beats in headphones, but it's 3-dimensional and it's going through your body. So it's way different and way cooler. But basically, if we do between 1 and 3 hertz difference between some of these notes, then we find that it has a physiological action. That he seems to be healing on some physical levels. We're doing studies about the neurological system, that we think it's got like a re-enlivening or renewing, kind of like a renewing effect on the nervous system. That one we're studying. It definitely has a chronic pain. It kills chronic pain. And there's other things too, like lymph system, like it's moving your lymph system, it's moving your circulation system. Kind of like if you went on a run, but you don't have to do anything. Your head is protected with a silicone pillow, very special pillow that I designed. You're laying on a silicone mat, and your knees are propped, and everything is silicone because that transmits sound waves. It doesn't dampen sound waves. That's another problem with those massage bed tables, is they are stuffed with cotton dampening material, and they simply don't deliver the sound. And I want to just mark my words, watch them copy me. Watch them go turn all of theirs into silicone on top. I know they're going to do that because they can't add the power. So they're just going to add the toppers. I bet you anything. Mark my words. Anyway, that is part of the magic of how those sound waves just like get right into you, because silicone has like the density of kind of like human flesh, human muscle. Like it's squishy, and it's in the same density kind of. So yeah, and then if we do heterodynes that are between 6 and 7 hertz apart, then now we have brainwave delta and theta brainwave states. So that's another reason. So we can go deeper into those states. We can activate more liminal stuff. If you want to go deep into, like, if you're trying to heal PTSD, if you want to have your massage or your hypnotherapist be talking to you through the Sonosphere, if you want to be doing like healing work for trauma, then those are the frequencies I would play. And then if we're doing healing work with the body, if someone needs, like they're doing a detox, they want to activate the lymph system, or we've also had some people with very rare issues that could only be worked on with physical vibration. Like we had this one girl with like her trachea kept like closing at the part where it connects to your stomach, her esophagus. I mean, it's like an esophageal hole that was like restricting, and they couldn't really do much for her. The vibration helped open it up for her. It was like she had never had it not like there's no medicine for her condition. There's nothing, so like some people have like these conditions for which there's no help. There's nothing for them. And so it's worth trying. We're also going to be doing a study and a test soon with somebody that has MS, and we're going to see if it can possibly reduce or slow down the symptoms of MS. Well, because it does. We do think from looking at all the studies that it does have a promising possible effect on restoring or at least renewing a little bit the nervous system. So we'll see with that what we can do there. Yeah. So basically, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
It's great with autism, correct?
Yeah. And actually a lot of the autistic folks, I think they actually resonate not just with the vibration, but also with the lights. That seems to be a very important part for them. All of the stars and the whole immersive experience is like very much a part of like what I think the autistic community adore about the Sonosphere. So it is,
So we have a comment from one of our audience.
Okay, yeah.
Williams says, "This sounds phenomenal. Do you recommend multiple sessions?" And she also said, "It looks like you're physically located in
LA
Conner, Washington. Do you have multiple locations?"
Yeah, so we do. We do have multiple sessions. We actually have memberships. So if you want to get a session every week or every month, we have those with like a little reduced price for coming in often. And then, yes, I recommend multiple sessions if you're trying to heal something. Definitely. It takes some time, but I also think it maybe takes less than like years and years of talk therapy. Like I feel like you can really get through a lot, especially if you combine this with like your therapist or with another healer that you trust and you've already, have a rapport with. And if it's your physical therapist, have them see how that affects your injury or recovery from surgery or whatever. And then it looks like you're physically in LaConner. Yes, we are in LaConner, Washington, and this is the only location right now. However, there are going to be more opening up, and we have opened up for people who want to invest in a Sonosphere machine, open their own location. We're ready to help people do that. And we also have a new machine coming out, the Vibropod, that will also be great for healing centers and stuff. So that will make it even more accessible. So that's actually my mission, by the way, is to make this technology as accessible as possible. And that means getting it accepted by insurance, getting all these things, getting a nonprofit going that does research on this technology at this high power, so that we can give people free sessions. So there is a way for everyone to get access to this, whether you wherever you are on the wheel of life. So that's our current sort of trajectory.
Now, with that much power, is it loud?
No. So when if I were to turn off the surround sound, the ambisonic surround sound, and just have the vibrations, the reason it's kind of, you can hear a hum, you can hear a buzz, but because it's going through something that was designed for that frequency, it is sounding more like kind of like an ohm or like a ringing. It's kind of more of like a tone. It's toning, and it's also going in and out. So you'll kind of hear it breathing because we're using sine waves. It's not just all the time. It's like it's in and it's out. Like it's in and out. And so you'll feel the rise of the waves coming through, and then they'll kind of dissipate, and then you'll feel another one rising. And because we don't have them all together, we have them in a certain phase relationship and within the circle, so that one wave follows the other, follows the other. So it's like one rises up, the next crest is ready to take over. So it's like it's kind of like an ocean, and we can adjust this in real time. So like with the song, like if the song is going faster or slower, if it's more, dreamy or more activating, like we can change the frequencies, change the way that they're moving with respect to each other. And then we also have panning control. And these are all parameters that my husband Rowan programmed to give the Sonosphere more controls. And that is something that I've really loved about this version, because we can now play anybody's music, anything we want to play through here. That's another really important detail that is not like in these other sound beds. It's just from a set list. Everything's pre-programmed with the transducers. So you have to like choose from a list of stuff that's in this app kind of to run them. And this, for the Sonosphere, it's just ultimate control. Like you can play whatever you want. You can tune in real time the transducers to go with the song that you want. It is just the ultimate playground for anyone who's an audiophile or anyone who loves sound healing. Like this is like the ultimate level of sound healing, like master level. It really is breaking through the ceiling of both sound healing and vibroacoustic therapy as like a thing. Because I think at these levels of power, I feel like you can actually start to have some healing, like to see some actual results that you can measure. And that's why we are now going into the clinical studies phase, where we get third parties to prove all this stuff, because now we've seen it enough. We've been doing this for 3 years. We've seen enough like amazing stuff happen that we're like, okay, we just need someone else to prove it now, because we've proven it to ourselves and all of our clients. And it's been 3 years. And with something like this that's experimental, and we make everybody sign a liability form to try, but like you would think that trying this out for the first time that we would mess up sometimes and like get people that were upset or not, but like in 3 years we haven't had a single person leave less than 5 stars. Like it's been 75 people left reviews, all 5-star. Like I can't even, and the reviews are like it's insane. If I ever needed a confidence boost, I just go read them, because it's like people have said it changed their life, that they just all these things, and their words are what helps me learn about what it does too, because that they're giving me like they have to find the words to tell me how it affected them, which is actually kind of hard. So I send the review request out like days after the session, make sure it goes out like after they've had a few days to think about, because the words they come up with are so beautiful. And what they tell me happened for them is just amazing. So we know we've got something really special here.
Oh, absolutely. This is absolutely incredible. I could just looking at it, I could feel my future timeline when I sit on that and submerged into all the beautiful frequencies.
Yeah. You'll be going into your Jello era.
Absolutely.
Oh, create one with a waterbed. Yeah. We've considered the water bed thing. It's actually not as good as the silicone, believe it or not. If you were on a waterbed that had the transducers, a lot of that it's not directional. So like it would just wiggle out of the surface kind of around you. It doesn't, because water is so like sound moves really fast through it. You know what I mean? It's like faster than air, way faster than air. And so you really want like air to slow down the sound, and then the silicone to slow it down further, because you're giving it a medium to travel into you.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in water, it's just gonna take the path of least resistance, right? It's just gonna go out of you, go around you, and then back into the air. But we were trying to think of some maybe like liquid gel kind of situation might work really well, like a hot tub full of like a warm liquid gel with transducers. Now that would be pretty cool. A very expensive experiment though.
Yeah.
The material, the all of the silicones and rubbers and everything, the price on those has like more than quadrupled in the last few years because of the war in Ukraine, actually. So a lot of the only places on Earth where they create the chemicals to make these things come from that area.
Wow.
Yep.
You learn these things as you go along, I'm sure.
Yeah.
when you look into other.
I had no idea why the price had gone up so much between Sonosphere 2 and 3. I was just like, wow. They told me they didn't hesitate 1 second to tell me why it was why it was messed up.
It seems though that like you said, this has been 20 years in the making, that you've trialed and erred and everything else. And it seems like you're pretty finite on the material. Like you said, the metal has to be ever so at just the right thickness so that sound will do what you're intending for it to do as it travels through the aura and the body and whatnot. And it sounds like when the clients are inside of this, like you said, it's like when they come out, they're just like, ooh, maybe I wonder if, like you said, that there's been a few people who have had experiences where they've communicated with the loved ones on the other side.
Yeah.
Like it seems like maybe that's like you're creating this sphere, putting people into that they're able to like touch the quantum and go past the veil.
That's kind of what I think. That's kind of what I think is happening. But I feel like the key is really like your mind. Because we all have that capability already. Like we all already can do that, but we just don't know how. Yeah. It is like, it's like something I think maybe in ancient times we all knew how, but right now so many of us have forgotten how to get into that sacred place where there is no time and we're connected with every dimension simultaneously through the 0 point of consciousness. Like that 0 point is us. That's consciousness. And we are the tie. We tie together every dimension that there is. And there are infinite dimensions. And we only need to be concerned with the few dimensions that are like closest to ours. And like we can quantum jump between different parallels, realities in our mind. Like that's where we can go. We can time travel in our mind. And I can prove this because you will find, if you're on the Sonosphere, I put you on there for 1 hour, you're going to think it's been 20 minutes. You're going to think that it's been not that long every time you are having a good time. Every time you are experiencing dopamine, oxytocin, you will think that time is moving faster. Slower. Why? Because it's all perception. We created time. We created money. We created all these things with our mind. Everything is with our mind. So like I keep coming back to that. The mind is the key. It's the driver of this vehicle, of our body vehicle, but also of the Sonospheres. Like the Sonosphere cannot do anything without its driver. And you're basically just putting yourself in like an external, for lack of a better word, like a Merkaba that is going to take you, activate your mind, right? And like one of the first books I read that inspired this stuff was Drunvalo Melchizedek's The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life. So I read those. Do you know, Lisa, those books?
I do.
Yeah. They're great. They're out there, definitely. But one of the things that he just really breaks down is the sacred geometry of sound. And that was the part that I really resonated with the most. And that the whole concept of the mind being your vehicle to travel to other dimensions, to other places. And he uses the visualization of the Merkaba light body to be your vehicle to travel to different dimensions, right? So, what if you're not good at visualizing stuff in your mind? What if you're one of those people that like doesn't even have a speaking narrator in their head? Because a lot of people don't. There's people out there that just they don't have a voice of that's their own voice, like thinking in their mind. Like it doesn't. That's not how they communicate with themselves. And I just like it's so hard to think about that, but that exists. And so it's like, and also these access to these levels of consciousness through you could do psychedelics, you can do fasting, you can do initiation ceremony, you know, whatever it is. There's ways into these deep levels of transcendental meditation where we can be we can see all the different pathways before us and which ones would be the most beneficial. And I just feel like the Sonosphere helps you get there so effortlessly, to the point where it's just shocked people that we're not even waiting for it. We're not even expecting it. And that's part of also why I don't tell people what to expect, because I don't want to set anyone up for disappointment. First of all, not everyone can fully surrender. But I would say like 95% of people fully surrender. And one of my favorite client types that comes in a lot is we have couples come in a lot, and we have, you know, like an anniversary and a birthday special and things. And it's often like the wife who will find the Sonosphere, read everything about it, and then bring her husband to do the session. And we get, that's like kind of like a typical type of couple that we get a lot, where the woman is all into it and the guy is, you can tell he's kind of like, this kind of looks wacky and wooey and I'm not sure, and like, what did you drag me out here for? And of course everyone's very kind and polite, but like I can just tell by their energy they're just not sure, and they're just kind of like, what is this? And then every single time I come down at the end of the session, it's either 1 hour or 90 minutes, and the guy will be all like, oh, like glowing, like heart opened, just like totally transformed. And then immediately like, you made this, and like, how did you do this? And like, suddenly he wants to talk about it. And you know, all the stuff is on my website. The wife already knows because she read everything. But it's so funny. And those kind of people, especially the atheist ones who have never had like a deep spiritual experience, maybe they haven't done any, you know, entheogenic exploring or just anything like that. Those people have the coolest, like that's the most rewarding for me, is to just like see them have that experience and have it be completely sober, can have it be totally natural. And like, we're talking about the basic stuff here, light and sound. I mean, and not even invisible light or invisible sound. It's like all actual light sound that's in our human spectrum. And this is one thing I think the 40 hertz is for, is I think that it's because I built the Sonosphere based on the average proportions of an average human being. I think that it just came out to that naturally. Because that is the frequency of our dimensions, of our actual bodies. And so it makes sense that that's what can move our bodies in the best way.
Well, we are frequency ourselves, correct?
A massive combination that has a tendency to stay together from frame to frame. Yeah.
Yeah. So this thing, it's amazing. I wish that I lived closer to you, because I'd probably be in it every week. I swear.
Yeah.
It
is also, you know, something. There's another version that I'm also building currently, that I've designed, that now we're trying to find an investor for, which is a 24-person vibroacoustic experience. And that would allow groups to do it at the same time. You could have trauma interest groups that are like have similar healing. You could do that as a group, and you could also it would also suit better like cities, like to have more people be able to use at the same time and to justify the really high rents in the cities, to be able to, have more people experiencing at once. Because that was one of our challenges that we realized when we took the Sonosphere to Los Angeles. So we were like, okay, the rents down here are insane. And we're only doing one person per hour, or maybe two people per hour, we're not going to like charge a premium for this hour. Like $600 is what we would have had to charge if we wanted to have rent down there. So that's what got me thinking, like, okay, we got to have something where you got to be able to have people pay less money and have there be more people, and have it be just as cool of an experience. Like that was my challenge. So we did it. I did it. And now we're just going to find the funding, because every single design, eventually someone resonates. It's just like, as soon as you design it, everything else will come. Like, as long as you actually do it on paper, not up here, but like make the parts, make the pieces, do the budget, make it completely planned out. And then someone always is like waiting for your heart-centered mission to be like completely written out.
Oh, that's beautiful. When you build it, they will come.
Exactly.
Right? Wow. And if I can spin you back to like when you said you had a project back when you were getting your bachelor's. So
the first Sonosphere.
Did you meditate about it, or how did this? I mean, this is not just your average idea or piece of art.
No, I mean, it was originally very raw. And if you want to see what the first one looked like, you can check out the about page on my website. And then there's a little link for our story. Mm-hmm. And so it's on the story page. It shows like Sonosphere 1, 2, 3. But I will say the initial picture that I drew came from a dream. And my degree was an integration, and it was an integrated studies degree, but you have to choose 3 topics to integrate. And so mine were installation art, physics of sound, and sound therapy. Installation art was like my art, but basically essentially art, music, and science were blended together. And at the end of like this degree, you have to like show that you integrated it. And it can't just be like, like an art piece. It's got to be something more like in the community, because this is supposed to become your career, right? So it's like you have to try to integrate this into our world, like literally, like, why are you here? What is your mission? What are these 3 things that you can't let go of so much that they identify who you are? And they try to get you down to 2, but I really insisted on the 3, and they were really like, that is going to be hard. Okay. Very, and I'm like, okay, but it is what it is. So I was actually getting down to the deadline, did not have time to, I was just not coming up with anything. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So I had this dream, and it was like one of those naps. I just took a nap because I was overwhelmed, and I was like, I'm just going to take a nap for like 20 minutes. And that was like the perfect amount of time to get into that, liminal space. And I did have a dream. And it was in outer space. I was floating in outer space, and there was a single chair just sitting, floating in space next to me. And then all of a sudden it was Jack Black was in the chair, and he was laughing, and he had this microphone that was glowing, and it kept turning into a crystal with like lightning. And he just was laughing kind of hysterically and singing this song about, he kept saying it's a transducer. He's like, it's a transducer, baby. And I was like, okay, this is weird. And then the more he sang into the crystal microphone, all these speakers started flying from all these parts of the sky, of the universe, of all the space. And like the speakers just came flooding toward him. And right before it looked like it was going to smash into him, it would just stop. And each of the speakers would just come and stop like this, until it had created like a total sphere around him and he just was still singing in there, but I couldn't see him anymore because all these speakers were making this like big circle around him. And then that as soon as I like couldn't see him anymore at all, and it was all speakers in a circle, in a sphere in space, then that's like when I woke up. And then I knew that it was just going to start with a chair. I just knew that I just had to get a chair and like strap some speakers to it. Like that was literally like the beginning of just like the most primitive idea I ever had about it. And, you know, then I started thinking about how he was in the middle of the sphere of speakers. And I thought, you know, how am I going to get somebody, you know, up in a sphere of, you know, because first I had the idea of just having the chair on the floor. But then I was like, no, this chair has got to be like in the middle of a spinning sphere, because in my dream, the speakers were in a sphere, but also turning around him slowly. It was really weird. And, so then I asked my dad, who built satellite dishes for a living in the 80s, those big, huge ones, you know, they were always on a pole with like a little motor. And I was asking him, is there a way that I could get this to spin a sphere of something, some kind of material, but have somebody inside there they're not moving, but the sphere is moving, you know, like in my dream. And he was like, yeah, you just need to have a pole so that someone can sit there, and then that can be the structural part that this other part spins on. And then, you know, you just need some pieces coming down, like an upside down pyramid, my dad said. And so I was like, okay, yeah, upside down pyramid, a pole. I could probably do that. Sounds pretty simple, you know? So I started there, and I just drew like a little napkin drawing, and I basically just took it to the steel yard and was like, can you give me enough steel to make this? Like, I didn't even have any like numbers or math or anything. He just looked at my drawing and he's like, well, how much is this distance right here? And I was like as tall as me. I just said as tall as me. He's like, how tall are you? I was like 5'3", 5'4". And he's like, okay, I do have just the material for you. And he ended up giving me a whole bunch of 1-inch angle iron for this project, and he didn't make me pay for it. He just ended up giving me all the materials for free. And that was like the first miracle. That was like the first thing that was made me like, okay, this is a cool project, because already people are wanting to help me do this. And maybe he just thought it was cute, but I was like probably 19 when I was doing this. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was just the beginning of like where it started to emerge. And it was actually my dad who helped me build the first upside down pyramid that became the first Sonosphere platform. And then, you know, I realized we were going to need something to sit on once he made the frame. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to have to buy something to put on the top, right? And I almost used wood because that's the cheapest. But then I was like, no, I really want this to be clear, because I want this to feel like you're floating kind of. So at the time, I didn't know about plexiglass, and I just went and got like some tempered glass cut, like actual glass, like 1/2 inch thick, tempered with like some plastic in the middle, so that if it ever did crack, it would like cave in instead of just turn into sharp pieces or whatever. So I did take some precaution, like getting some tempered glass. But it was, you know, to this day, I still have it too. It's custom cut for this original Sonosphere. It was really crazy. And yeah, and then I took 2 chairs and sawed the legs off and put them back to back against the pole. And then those became the meditation spots. But yeah, not everyone can do crisscross applesauce. Like, not everyone can sit cross-legged for long periods of time. And I was only 20, so I was like, this is easy. Everyone can do this. And then as I would get more people of different ages, they were like, girl, I cannot sit like that. I'm going to need to get down in like 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. You know? So that was the biggest thing. I was like, okay, I got to get rid of this pole. And like people want to lay down and stuff. And like, that was one of the biggest design hurdles I had to overcome. But that also came from a dream where like the pole just started getting slit. These 4 slits went down the pole. And then from the inside, it blew up and it became these 4 arcs.
Okay.
And that vision was while I was walking down the street. Like that didn't even, I wasn't even asleep for that one. That one just shot into my head like randomly. And I just was like, whoa, that's what I got to do. And then I was so excited when I got home from wherever I was walking, I like immediately started designing the pieces that became this machine. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's it. It sounds like your journey has been divinely assisted. Like you've got your team, your divine team is with you. They support you, and they're just making sure that you get the right people on your path as you're navigating and going through and continually as you expand. So that's just.
Thank you. Yeah. I'll answer this question. Are you trying to create a field with the copper tubes? No, they don't create a field, but what they do is, I chose copper because copper is the most conductive metal that known to man, pretty much. That's why we use it in electronics a lot. And it is a mild antenna. So it is picking up, radio wave and other, maybe some EM wave. So it just is kind of acts like a very simple Faraday cage, like just very simply on a scientific level. It does a little bit of clearing just of other errant waves and stuff. So it feels like a very like energetically cleaned out space in there. And another property is that the copper is grounding also. So it grabs like static from the inside of the machine. And it grounds it. There's a grounding cord that goes down. And then, the copper is spinning. That's the part that actually spins on the Sonosphere. And so that is what's causing the hypnotic effect that's kind of helping you get into that liminal space and help activate the parasympathetic nervous system. So that's when the mind, our monkey mind, our left brain can like calm down and relax. So that spinning, that gentle turning is really what helps you get into that state faster.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Yes, Sam. With all the synchronicities, it was meant to be. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
So you're a scientist, you're a mom, you're an artist, you're a musician. Your husband is a very lucky man.
Thank you. I'm lucky too. He's got a lot of the same qualities. We love making music together, and we both love this project. And we've helped each other come so far with the project. And I honestly think that it would not be what it is today without his brilliance on this as well, and us working together as a team. Because like, there is no way I could have tested this thing, for example, on my own. Like, you definitely need to have someone there at all times to be the one feeling it, and then someone adjusting it from the computer. So it's like, we could not be both of those things. We had to constantly trade off and take turns being the cat whisker, we call it. If you're in there, you're the cat whisker.
The cat whisker. I like that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
And I want to say too, some of the miracles of the story of the unfolding of this machine is, if you want to hear my story, I've been putting it out in parts on my TikTok channel. So it's at lady_Sonosphere on TikTok. And if you just type in Sonosphere, you will undoubtedly find me, because I'm the only one.
Yes.
But yeah, it is. It's just a good place to see that's what I put the most effort into these days, is posting every day on TikTok. And right now I just happen to be going through the story and the history of building the Sonosphere and all the miracles and things that happened to propel this forward.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So we like to ask all of our guests this question. What message would you like to leave our audience with?
I would say that not everybody has like some deep epic mission But if you do have a mission, you know that you do. And if you know that you have a heart-centered mission, then there is no stopping the miracles and the help from the universe that's going to flow to you. And being committed to it and planning it out is pretty much what you have to do to start. And if you're centered in your integrity, if you're centered in your truth, then you can't actually get off that path. It's like you just basically have to be yourself and walk through it. And with anyone doing any type of project out there, I would say don't be attached to the outcome, because the beauty of the magic of creating comes from the parts that you just didn't know what were going to happen. Maybe from a mistake that you make in making it just made it better and cooler. Like that's happened so many times. So I just think you got to be unattached from the outcome of your project and be open to receive what it truly is, which is hard. It's hard to do. It's hard to not control it. But that's really the key for me, is to just stay open and unattached.
Beautiful, beautiful. This has been so enlightening and so interesting.
Thank you. Thanks.
I hope that there are more of these that become available all over the United States, and overseas maybe too.
Definitely, that's our goal. We're definitely poised and ready. So
yeah,
I feel that this is new earth. Let's go. We are pioneers, in all of us in our own unique ways.
Yeah.
And so thank you, Louisa, for joining us, because I see the vision of our future timeline on the new earth. And
yes. And if you're part of making it, you know you're part of it. And that there's so much energy right now for you, for us, to make that. There's so much energy just wanting to come to us to make that happen. Like anyone who's willing to step up and commit to that as their life path, like there's blessings waiting, because this is what everyone is asking for the universe. Everybody wants a better life, a more sustainable earth, an existence with nature that is more balanced. Like everyone wants to see us balance technology. It is like balance is what we want. And those who are willing to do the work to balance it out. And right now what that basically means is taking money away from things that are greedy and putting it to things that heal. And that could be animals, trees, environment, anything, humans. Pick a subject and heal it. Like that is what we want.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, we are the pioneers for the new earth. Let's go. I love it.
Yes,
Awesome.
I do. I love it. And I thank you so much. You are such a blessing.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks for seeing me and finding. I don't even know how you found me, but I'm glad you did.
Lisa found you.
Excellent.
Lisa found you, and I said, "Oh my God, that's amazing!"
Yes. Well, like I said, we're the new earth pioneers, so it's time for us to find each other.
Yep.
Meet each other, learn and grow with each other. Oh, I'm getting angel bumps. Yeah, that's a confirmation.
It's a lamplighter reunion. That's what I call it. It's like, I consider my place an outpost of consciousness, and I'll always hold the light for other people to discover theirs.
That's so beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. For sharing. Thank you for sharing time and space with us today. And I'm sure as you grow and continue to create more and more, maybe we'll have time is an illusion in my world, but maybe in a year or two, you'll have that 24 person.
I think
and we'll be able to talk about it and show people. So
yeah,
I'm excited.
I know you'll have it.
Yes.
That's just without a doubt. You'll have it.
It's coming. I can't wait to be able to show it too, because it is beautiful.
Yes.
Well, we look forward to you joining us again, if you so please, in the future.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Sending you such a big.
And thanks for all the questions, everyone that was watching.
Yes.
Watching.
Our audience is fantastic. They have the best comments and questions.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
That's cool.
So as we end our show, Lisa and I, we are, well, next week is Lisa's birthday. Happy birthday early to Lisa. But we also have a bonus show next Friday night. So you won't have to wait 2 weeks to see us again. We have Vivian, and she's the Octurian. So if you want to know what an Octurian is, tune in. Excellent. And thank you, everybody. And thank you so much, Louisa.
You're so welcome. Thanks for having me.
How are you doing for the collective?
It was a pleasure. And yeah, everybody find me on social media. I'm on everything. Yeah. I'm on all the things. Find me.
Yeah. And check out her website. She's a beautiful artist and she has much to offer and share. So,
yeah.
Thank you.
She's so well-rounded. She's an artist. She's a scientist, a mom, a wife, you know.
Kind of ridiculous, I know.
Everything.
I love it. I love it.
Oh.
Well,
thank you, everybody. Thank you to our audience for being here as well.
Ooh, 1 hour and 11 minutes. Perfect. That's my note.
Thank you for joining us on Soul Fire Ascension with Raven and Lisa Love Light. You can also catch Soul Fire Ascension on YouTube and Rumble at Soul Fire Ascension, or listen anytime on Spotify. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe to help us grow this community of light. Soul Fire Ascension is proudly sponsored by RavensHealingarts.com.